Hey, what's up, everybody? Commissioner H Coach 704 PEL Primetime Elite League coming at you with PEL Live on a Sunday. We usually call it Storyline Sundays, but we'll just call it PEL Live since we have not done this in a little bit. It's been a couple weeks, so we're going to catch up on the standings. You see on the screen the best teams in the league right now. I'll probably do another power rankings video sometime this week, but you see those top 7 teams right there are having a real good season. So let's jump into where we are in our divisions, and we're going to take a look at the playoff race. So we're going to do it a little different this time. We'll start with the AFC and break it down as far as where the playoffs are. I see one person watching. I didn't post the stream because I was going to just post it after I'm done, but thanks for watching. So right now in the AFC, and I got 2 people watching. I guess some people subscribe. That's good to know. Well, in the AFC, we got the Texans with the number 1 seed. We have the Ravens as the number 2 seed right now. The Dolphins would be the 3 seed, and then our team out of the West, the Chargers, would be the 4 seed. And then our wild card teams would be the Colts and the Browns. And knocking on the door are the Jets, the Broncos, the Bengals, the Jaguars. All those guys are still in it with a wild card shot. And you can't rule out the Titans and the Chiefs as well. So all you guys, if I said your name, I think you're in the playoff race as we are in week 14. And we got a couple more weeks left here in the season. In the NFC, you got the Rams as the 1 seed, Redskins as the 2, Panthers as the 3, Packers as the 4, Vikings will be the first wild card as the 5, and still in the playoffs are the Buccaneers as the 6 seed and the final wild card team. And you can't rule out the Cardinals and the Falcons still with outside hopes at a wild card spot if the Bucs falter. And even the Bears with that tie, I think, are still a factor in that as well. And we're going to take a look at, we're going to be a real in-depth playoff kind of show. We're going to take a look at some matchups and how things are going to fare here, so just bear with me. All right, in the AFC North, you got the Ravens at 11-1, Browns 8-4, Bengals 7-5, and the Steelers 2-10. Steelers are looking forward to the next season and a high draft pick. Bengals and Browns have wild card aspirations. I think the Ravens pretty much have the division locked up. If you look at the conference record, and let's go back to the AFC, we'll look at conference records for everybody where we're going to do this. This is very important when we come down to tiebreakers as far as the wild card positions go, and even in the top seeds. So, of course, the Texans are undefeated. They're in a great spot, 9 AFC wins. They have a chance to get 3 more. Ravens at 8-1 are a good spot. So you pretty much think these 2 are going to be your top 2 seeds pretty much. But when it gets down to the 3 and 4 for home field in the wild card round, the Dolphins at 6-3 in the AFC East pretty much have the 3 seed locked up in my opinion, because the Chargers would be the next team and they're 7-5, 3 games behind. So I think your top 4 seeds are locked up. So let's look at the 2 wild cards. Well, not locked up in the AFC West case, but let's take a look at wild card teams. Colts at 5-3 in the AFC, Browns 6-4, Jets 5-4, Chargers 5-4, Broncos 5-3, Bengals 5-5, Jags 5-4, Titans 5-5, and the Chiefs 3-5. So the Chiefs have a really, really big uphill climb to try to get into this. Titans have some tough luck. This is our old Bills owner. If you don't know, welcome back. But he has some tough losses to kind of put him behind the 8 ball. He's probably going to have to win out to have a shot to get in. Jags need to win some more games with 4 losses in the AFC. It puts them a little bit behind guys like the Broncos. They're in a good position. Colts, I think, are in a good position. Browns have 2 more AFC games. Jets have 3 more. And the Chargers have 3 more as well. Broncos have 4 more at 5-3, so they have a really good shot. All right, so that's your, if he gets down to tiebreakers, that's your breakdown on that. All right, in AFC South, we have the Texans, of course, at the top, undefeated at 12-0. The Colts at 9-3. They're playing this week. If the Colts want to have any shot at the division, they have to win that game. If the Texans win it, it looks like they've already got the division locked up, though. I think by the X, or is that a playoff spot? I think that's a playoff spot. But either way, the Colts have to win to keep their division hopes alive. Jags at 7-5, I think, have a shot at wild card, and Titans at 6-6 pretty much have to win out to get the wild card. The Colts are in a good spot right now with the wild card. Need to keep winning AFC games, especially. Jags need to win, period. Winning out would help them a lot. We'll see who they're going to face here down the stretch here in a minute. AFC East, we got the Dolphins at 10-3 now. They defeated the Falcons tonight. We'll review that game in a little bit later. The Jets are 7-5. Bills 2-11. Patriots 0-12. I had a nice talk with the Bills tonight. He had a tough game against me, but he's going to hang in there and stick with it, learn and get better. And, Colts, I need to reach out to Colts to see when this Patriots guy is going to join. If not, we can try to recruit one, even though there's not a lot of Patriot fans right now in the United States, but maybe we can find one. But anyway, Dolphins with a 2.5 game lead. The Jets have not played yet this week, but if the Jets want to keep pace, they'll need to win, obviously. Dolphins are hot. They've won 6 in a row. The passing game for them is really strong. Defense might hold them back. They have to play, in my opinion, they have to play perfect offense to win against the best teams. He probably played perfect offense against me with the help of Madden. But, yeah, that's tough because, every game you can't come out and, do that. There's always going to be something that, kind of gets you have to overcome. So we'll see how that goes in the playoffs, for those guys. I think they're locked into the 3 seed. The Jets have wild card aspirations, but they really need to win those AFC games. And the AFC West is shaping up to be a good race. You got the Chargers at 7-5, Broncos at 7-5, Chiefs 6-6, and the Raiders at 5-7. I don't think anyone's out of this race, to be honest with you. I think even the Raiders have beaten up on some of these guys up here. So I think everyone has the chance to beat each other, which makes it, a lot of fun. The Broncos are hot. They've won 4 in a row. Chiefs are falling off a little bit, losing 3 in a row. And, in the division, this is going to be really interesting. You see the records. Everyone is beating up on everyone else. 2-2 for the Chargers, 2-2 for the Broncos, 2-1 Chiefs, 1-2 Raiders. No one has really run away with anything here. So we're going to look at all those schedules and see who plays who coming down the stretch. So let's take a look at that right now. We're going to take a look at the AFC schedules against the teams that are in the playoff race. It's something we don't usually do, but this is a special playoff show. So we'll start with the Raiders. Coming down the stretch, they've got, division games. Next 3, Chargers, Chiefs, and Broncos. Well, that's going to seal their fate right there. If they win those, they have a shot at winning the division. If they lose, they're done. Pretty much it. Pretty straightforward. Ravens down the stretch. They're the 2 seed right now. They got, good interdivisional matchup here with the Vikings, Colts, Steelers, and Chargers. 3 out of 4 of those will be good games. The Steelers are pretty much done for the season, so there'll be some entertaining games there for the Ravens coming down the stretch. All right, Texans, see if they can go undefeated. They've got the Colts this week. That's tough. Ooh, the Rams. That could be a possible Super Bowl preview. The Browns, and then the Patriots. Well, the Patriots will probably be a force at the end of the season, so if they get past these next 3, and that's not easy. That's a tough-ass stretch right there. So if you're going to earn your undefeated, that's the way it should be, to be honest. Those are going to be some good games right there. I hope those are streamed. I'd love to check those out if I have some time. Titans have an outside shot. They probably have to win out to have a shot, but they got the Seahawks, Dolphins, 49ers, and Colts. Colts and Dolphins will be tough. Seahawks, of course, are a really tough roster, and the 49ers don't have too much to play for, but they always play hard, so Titans have to win out to try to get in. Bengals, coming down the stretch, they're 7-5. They got the Steelers, Packers, Bears, and Broncos. Like I said, I think they can get a win this week. The Steelers, that Packers game will be really interesting. Both of those teams have something to play for. Bears outside shot at a wild card. They probably have to win out, and then the Broncos. We already know they're in the thick of that AFC West chase. So good games for the Bengals coming down the stretch. For the Broncos, they have big game with the Chiefs this week. That could knock the Chiefs out if they lose. Jags, huge game right there for wild card implications. Raiders in the division, and then the Bengals. I think every one of those games are huge for the Broncos. Huge implications in each one of those games. Browns coming down the stretch. They have the Lions, Steelers, Texans, and Vikings. Okay, next 2 weeks they should win. Of course, the Lions are not around. Steelers, that should be a win. Then the Texans and then the Vikings. So Browns are the last two. They should get the 10 wins. I don't know if 10 gets you in, but they get one of these last two right here. You got to feel pretty good at 11-5. Chargers coming down the stretch. They have the Raiders, Giants, Chiefs, and Ravens. So little interesting mix of games there. Of course, the Raiders. I think the Raiders. That was a tough game. Yeah. They lost to them 6-3. So, hey, you can't take them lightly. The Giants, Kyle's a good player when he has time. Chiefs are right there in it. And then the Ravens, of course, the number 2 seed right now. So, hey, it's going to be a damn good fight in that AFC West coming down the stretch. Chiefs, real quick, they're 6-6. They have the Broncos, Raiders, Chargers, and Steelers. So you can only really count one of those as a win with the Steelers. But those other 3 are divisional games. That's where you want your fate to be determined. You have the fate in your hands right there. If you can win those 3, it's going to put you in a good spot in the division. Colts, good place in the wild card right now, 9-3. They have the Texans, Ravens, Jags, and Titans. That's a tough schedule right there. The Texans are undefeated. Ravens number 2 seed. Jags, talented roster, and then the Titans are a good player. So that is not going to be an easy stretch right there for the Colts to try to hold on to that first wild card spot in the AFC. Dolphins, they have Titans, Patriots, and Jets. So we pretty much think they're locked into the number 3 seed. I don't think anyone in the AFC West is going to catch them. They'll get probably a force with the Patriots, so they have 2 games left, the Titans and the Jets. Not pushovers. The Titans, are a good player, and then the Jets have been pretty good this year. So in that first Jets game, he blew them out pretty good, 34-10, but the Jets will probably have a lot to play for. Their playoff lives will be on the line in that game, so it's not going to be a cakewalk by any stretch of the imagination. Jaguars coming down the stretch. They have the Jets, Broncos, Colts, and Cardinals. So that's a huge game right there with the Jets to determine wild card fates in the AFC. Same with the Broncos, although the Broncos have AFC West aspirations. Colts in the division, that's a huge game for wild card. And then the Cardinals could be playing for a wild card in the NFC. So huge implication games right there for the Jags. Jets. You got the Jags, Panthers, Bills, and Dolphins. So 3 of those are going to be tough. The Jags, we just talked about that one. Playing against me, I've got a lot to play for in the NFC. We'll talk about that in a minute. Bills are struggling a little bit, and then the Dolphins. That's going to be huge for their, wild card aspirations. And that's it. So that's our AFC teams, AFC scenarios. There's a lot to be settled as far as the wild cards go, and I think that AFC West division is going to be wide open for everyone in it coming down the stretch. All right. I think, did we go through? Yeah, we went through NFC. All right, so divisions. Right now, the best race is in the North as far as divisions go in the NFC. Packers at 8-4, Vikings 7-4-1, Bears 4-7-1, Lions 0-12. We know the Lions are pretty much done. Bears have a very slim shot at a last wild card in the NFC. Packers and Vikings. I saw the Vikings beat the Packers one time on stream. That was a good game to watch. Looking at the division, you see the Packers are 4-1, Vikings are 3-1 in the division, so pretty even right there. NFC records: Packers 7-2, Vikings 6-3. Let's take a look at their schedules real quick and see where they are as far as playing each other, since this race is the one tight one we have in the NFC. Alright, so the Packers and Vikings. The Packers have split with the Vikings. They beat them 16-10 in week 7, and then they lost 31-10 in week 12. Coming down the stretch, the Packers have the Bears, Bengals, Seahawks, and 49ers. So that's not an easy stretch. The Bears are always tough. They just beat them 14-12, and I know the Bears were talking a little bit of smack about that one. Bengals have a lot to play for. Seahawks with a great roster, and then the 49ers, they always play hard. So, not an easy stretch right there for the Packers by any stretch of the imagination. And then you have the Vikings. The Vikings coming down the stretch have the Ravens, Lions, Rams, and Browns. Oh my God. Oh, the Lions will probably be a force, but those other three, number 2 seed in the AFC, number 1 seed in the NFC, and then the second wild card in the AFC. So that is going to be a tough road to hoe for the Vikings. I don't know. I don't know if they're going to get the division, but right now they sit in a good spot in the wild card. But if you're a prospective wild card team in the NFC, you got to like that finishing schedule because you might get some help, from those other teams that have a lot to play for. And we'll look at the Bears while we're here. They need to pretty much win out, in my opinion. They got the Packers, 49ers, Bengals, and Seahawks. That Seahawks game, I think they're pretty much on the same level. Bengals have a lot to play for. It won't be easy. 49ers always play tough. And then the Packers this week, we just saw how close that game was the first time. So, don't count the Bears out. They made the playoffs last year, and they're 4-7-1. You can look at most of their games. You see they're very close, no matter who they're playing. So it'll be an interesting last couple weeks there for the NFC North. All right. So let's go back to the NFC South. The Panthers at 10-3, Buccaneers 6-6, Falcons 5-8, Saints 4-8. The Saints have said they want to go on auto the rest of the year because the real life Saints lost in the playoffs. So we'll honor that. Falcons outside shot at a wild card. We'll look at their schedule. Bucks are the second wild card in the NFC right now, and then the Panthers at 10-3 have pretty much locked the division up. They got the head-to-head over the Bucks, so that gives them a 4-game lead essentially, and that's pretty much done. As far as conference records go, Panthers 8-2, Bucks 4-5, Falcons 4-6. So let's look at their schedules coming down the stretch here. And for the Panthers, it's more of a can they get the number 2 seed in the NFC? And there's a big game coming up to determine that. They got the Jets next week. The Redskins is the big game. And then the Cowboys, I'll remove that for us because he's back. So that Redskins game, week 16, I think the winner of that one will probably get the number 2 seed based on, I don't know what the Redskins have on their schedule just yet. But sometimes, for me, honestly, I like the wild card better. I know I made the NFC title game from the wild card last year. That week off just kind of seems to throw teams off for whatever reason. The Jets have a lot to play for, and then the Cowboys playing out the string pretty much. So these next 2 games will be tough, and then the Cowboys, I know he'll play tough. Lee has a lot of pride, so that won't be an easy game. Buccaneers currently the 6th seed in the NFC, and they have the Patriots where they get a force this week, and then they have the Saints who are now on auto. The line. Well, you know what? I think Tampa Bay may be in the playoffs because they're gonna get 3 forces pretty much here, and then they got the Eagles, and the Eagles, they do have a lot of pride, and they're going to play hard in that game. But you got forces the next 3 weeks for the Bucks, and that's going to get them the 9 wins. And looking at the Vikings finishing schedule, they're probably going to get the 5 seed, honestly. unless the Vikings are able to pull some upsets there. That's a very favorable schedule coming down the stretch for the Bucks. And that's some bad news for other prospective NFC wildcard teams. The Falcons will look at it. They've got the Cowboys, Cardinals, and then the Bills. So the finishing schedule for the Falcons is not as tough, but they'll have to win out. And that Cardinals game right there, we said the Cardinals had outside shot at a wild card. That's a lose-or-leave town match right there, in my opinion. We'll see what happens in that one. All right. So let's go to the NFC East next. And the Redskins pretty much have this thing locked up. They're 10-2. Oh yeah, it's locked up. Eagles 4-8, Giants 4-8, Cowboys 3-9. All three of these guys are looking forward to the next season, in my opinion. We'll look at the Redskins' finishing schedule. So let's take a look. Alrighty. The Redskins, this week they have the Giants, and then the Eagles, Panthers, and then the Saints. Well, that's going to be a force for them with the Saints. They're tough games with the Panthers, and like we said, I think the winner of that game will get the 2 seed in the NFC. But with them finishing up with a force, it may not knock them out depending on how I play, down the stretch. So, they're pretty much locked into a home playoff game. Just a matter of if they're going to get the bye or not. So, good season for the Redskins so far. All right, then we'll finish up with the NFC West. And the Rams lead the NFC West, of course. They've led it all year. 12-1, Cardinals 5-8, Seahawks 4-8, 49ers 2-10. We'll take a look at the Rams and Cardinals finishing schedules. I don't think the Seahawks have enough. Well, we'll look at it. We'll see. All right, so the Rams finish up with, they've got Texans coming up, then the Vikings, and then the Lions. Well, that Lions game will be a force. So they got the Texans. That's a huge, huge game right there. And then the Vikings have a lot to play for as well. So 2 playoff teams right there, and then the Lions is what they finish up with. So, they'll be tested going into the playoffs, but I'm pretty sure they're going to have a bye, going into things in the NFC. I don't see them losing both of those games. Be high. Well, I don't know. I mean, they've won a lot in a row, so it may be time for them to get screwed. The Cardinals, let's see. All right, the Cardinals are going to finish up with Seahawks, Falcons, and the Jaguars. So, my opinion, they have to win out to make the playoffs, and they'd have to make it at 8-8, and then they have to hope for the Vikings to lose. So any prospective NFC wildcard team under the Bucks, meaning the Falcons or the Cardinals, you're rooting against the Vikings, because Tampa Bay is going to have 9 wins at the least with getting those forces, coming down the stretch. And then the Seahawks, we'll finish up with them on this segment. All right, the Seahawks have the Titans, Cardinals, Packers, and the Bears. So, Seahawks-Cardinals is a lose-or-leave town match. I think they have to win out too. They're 4-8. They got to get to 8-8 to give themselves a shot. Plain and simple here. All right. So that's our playoff look, and you know what you have to do if you're in the playoff race. Now, let's take a look at some games that have been played this week. All right. First on the slate, the Dolphins over the Falcons 33-21. The Dolphins throwing the ball real well, over 300 yards passing. No turnovers on either side. Well played game. Scoring in the red zone. Good time of possession balance. That was good. Alright, so Drew Lock had a perfect rating. 15 of 16 for 302 touches. Will Grier, good game on his end. 13 of 15, 168 and 3 touches. So offenses were looking really good here. Not much in the run game for both teams, but receiving, Kenny Steele 6 for 96, Devontae Parker 3 for 131. Falcons spread the ball out a good bit here. Ridley led with 569 and a touch. Defensive standouts, did we have any? A couple sacks here for the Dolphins. Tankersley, Harris, and Jones. No interceptions, so well played game on both sides there. Dolphins with the win. Alright. Rams over the Cardinals 19-8 in an interesting score there. Only one turnover right there for the Cardinals, so not too many mistakes there. They did win on the yardage. Must have been some special teams touchdowns here or something. Let's see. Goff threw 2 touchdown passes, 14 of 20 for 102. A lot of short passes. Rosen 199, 12 of 16, only 1 interception. Gurley didn't do much. Anderson not too much on the ground. Harry with a big game, 5 for 106, the young receiver coming into his own. Kirk also with 4 for 68. And then defensively we had 2 sacks right there for the Rams. And Roby Coleman with 1 interception. So, lower scoring game there, but the Rams still find a way to get it done on the road in the NFC West. And then the Panthers over the Bills, 44-0. Really took our foot off the gas in the second half. You'll see the stats there. It was a tough game for the Bills. So we played really well after losing last week. The team was pretty upset with that. So, got out to a pretty good start in the second quarter, and Carr played well. 13 or 15, 237, running the backup for the second half, Browning. Allen had a tough game. Lawrence, and I'll tell you right now, McCaffrey came back, but Lawrence is going to remain the starter. We're going to put McCaffrey in a lot of different positions and use him in different ways, but Lawrence has been running the ball really well. His little confidence thing is up, so I don't want to bench him. But he's killing it. Gio got loose for a long touchdown run second half. Bird was the leading receiver in this one. Diggs 3 for 78 and a touch. Then they did defensively had a couple guys with interceptions. We had Dupree with an interception, John Lynch second with an interception. Zaire Franklin's interception was returned for a touchdown in Syracuse, so that was pretty cool. I didn't even know he went to school there, so he did it in his hometown. But anyway, that was the games that have been played so far this week. So we're done with that. We're going to take a look at awards, see where people are right now in the awards chase for the season. All right. MVP right now, Nathan Blue with the Texans. Then you see the other nominees right there. Coach of the Year, Bill O'Brien for the Texans, of course, undefeated, well deserved. All right, AFC Offensive Player of the Year, Nathan Blue. He is a storyline player out of Boise State, if you remember from a couple years ago. Really living up to his potential. Jadeveon Clowney is the Defensive Player of the Year right now. Anthony Schwartz, Offensive Rookie of the Year. I think that was the fast receiver. I know he had a different name, but I think it was changed. And then Defensive Rookie of the Year, DeMarcus Daniel for the Raiders. Don't know him. I have to look him up. Baker Mayfield, Best Quarterback. Nathan Blue, Best Running Back. Anthony Schwartz, Best Receiver. Quentin Nelson, Best OL. I'm going to change these names. I keep saying that. I need to do it. Chase Winovich, Best D-line for the Raiders. He's got a lot of sacks. Jadeveon Clowney, Best Linebacker. Quincy Wilson, Best DB for the Colts. And the best kicker, Zane Gonzalez for the Browns. All right, NFC. Todd Gurley, the second Offensive Player of the Year. Malik Pellerin's got a bunch of sacks, Defensive Player of the Year for the Redskins. Long Dobbins, Offensive Rookie of the Year for the Panthers. Deontay Spencer, sim stats are great. Defensive Rookie of the Year for the Lions. Derek Carr, Best QB for the Panthers. Todd Gurley II, Best Running Back for the Rams. Paul Richardson Jr., Best Receiver for the Redskins. Lemengo Hakili, Best Offensive Lineman for the Rams, storyline player from a couple years ago. I thought he would have been better on defense, but hey, when you got superstar development, I guess it doesn't matter. Malik Pellerin, best defensive lineman. Zach Morris, storyline player, best linebacker for the Redskins. Marcus Joyner, best DB for the Rams, and the best kicker is Cole Tracy for those Cardinals. All right, good job. All right, team stats. Where's everybody at this year? Best offense in the league. Dolphins, of course, with that passing offense, followed by the Vikings, Bengals, Panthers, and Ravens are your top 5. Best pass offenses, Dolphins, Vikings, Panthers, Bengals, Saints. Best run offenses, Ravens, Texans, Panthers, Packers, Colts. I did not know I was that good at the run. I'm shocked. Points per game, Texans, Ravens, Colts, Panthers, Browns are your top 5 scoring offenses. Defense, best defenses in the league. Texans, Vikings, Panthers, Redskins, Seahawks, top 5. Top 5 pass defenses. Seahawks, of course. Raiders, Texans, Vikings, Redskins. Best run defenses. Broncos, Panthers, Texans, Vikings, Chargers. Points allowed, top 5. Texans, Rams, Panthers, Redskins, Packers. Most sacks in the league. Redskins, Texans, Vikings, Broncos, Jaguars. Hit stick kings, Packers, Browns, Jets, Texans, Redskins, Bengals, Rams. And top interceptors, Rams, Panthers, Chargers, Bengals, Texans, Broncos, Chiefs. All right, good job on that. Most efficient teams in the league, Texans, Panthers, Colts, Ravens, Dolphins. Good job on those. Third down conversions. That's very important. Keeping drives alive. Scoring points in the red zone. You want a high percentage on this. Alright. Titans, Ravens, Falcons, Rams, Colts, Texans. I'm really going to measure this now by attempts because this is who gets down there. Dolphins, Colts, Broncos, Rams, Browns, Ravens, Panthers, Titans, Bengals. Good job. Defensive percentage in the red zone. You want a low percentage here. This is giving up points. Texans, Rams, Chiefs, Lions, Eagles, Broncos, Patriots. Patriots? What the hell? Good job on that in the red zone. Just a quick look at penalties. Most penalized are probably CPU teams. Yep. Least penalized, Jets, Panthers, Rams, 49ers, Seahawks, Raiders, Chargers, Dolphins. Disciplined players help with that. Turnover difference. I always talk about turnover difference. That's really, really key to have a successful season. Rams, Texans, Panthers, Browns, Colts, Bengals, Jets, Chargers, Broncos, Titans, Ravens, Chiefs. If you're on the positive side, you're probably having a pretty good season. And you see the teams on the top of that list there are having pretty good seasons. They're Rams playoff team, Texans, Panthers, Browns, Colts, Bengals, Bengals are in it, Jets are in it, Chargers in it, Broncos in it, Titans are in it, Ravens, Chiefs are in it, Packers, Dolphins, Redskins. Only one really not in it on the positive side are Giants, and they have 1. That's the difference. So, hey, you don't turn the ball over, you give yourself a chance to win. Always the key. Alright, player stats. Best in the league. Alright. Passing by yardage. Drew Lock, Dolphins. Derek Carr, Panthers. Willie Steeman Beeman, Bengals. Jarrett Stidham, Saints. Rufus Jackson, Redskins, your top 5. Good job. Passing touchdowns. Baker Mayfield, Rufus Jackson, Drew Lock, Carson Wentz, Derek Carr, Willie Beeman, Steven Rivers, Jim Kuiper, Sam Darnold, Aaron Rodgers. You see some good TD to interception ratios right there. Usually the best teams, 26-8, 23-13, 23-9, 22-10. All right, that's about it. Oh, man. Let's look at quarterback rating. Don't look at that too much. But this is for starters. Mayfield, Carr, Drew Lock, Deshaun Watson, Carson Wentz, Jim Kiper, Lamar Jackson. I know he's hurt. So those are your most efficient passers by passer rating, which takes, of course, a lot of factors into play. All right, leading rushers by yardage in the league. Okay, Nathan Blue, Texans. Todd Gurley, Rams. Derrick Henry, Ravens. Tevin Coleman, Packers. Kareem Hunt, Chiefs. Matt Breida, New York Jets. Ronald Jones, Browns. Damian Harris, Jags. Dalvin Cook, Vikings. Kalen Ballage, 49ers. Good job. Most touchdowns in the league so far. Nathan Blue, 20. Derrick Henry, 15. Nick Chubb, 12. Nyheim Hines, 11. TJ Yeldon, 11. Todd Gurley, 10. Dalvin Cook, 10. Derek Frederick, 10. Ross Lawrence, 10. Good job, all you guys. All right, receivers by yardage. Paul Richardson, Redskins. Anthony Schwartz, Jags. Curtis Samuel, Vikings. Nick Henry, Bengals. Jarvis Landry, Chiefs. Robbie Anderson, Jets. Tyreek Hill, Buccaneers. Tony Flash, Browns. Jeffrey, Eagles. Stephon Diggs, Panthers. Kenny Stills, Dolphins. N'Keal Harry, Cardinals. Good job. Most receiving touchdowns in the league so far. Anthony Schwartz, Jags. Robbie Anderson, Jets. Tony Flash, Browns. T.Y. Hilton, Colts. Dante Moncrief, Cowboys. John Ross, Bengals. Good job. All right, defense. Stu Sacks. Malik Pellerin, 21.5, Redskins. Jadeveon Clowney, 20.5, Texans. Chase Winovich, 16, Raiders. Anthony Jenkins, 15, Texans. What the hell are the Texans doing? Ngakwe, 13, Jags. Deron Payne, 13, Redskins. What are they doing? Takk McKinley, 12.5, Falcons. Manuel Ogba, 11 with the Browns. Taylor Diaz, 11 with the Lions, Simsats. Nick Bosa, 11 with the Jags. Tyquan Lewis, 11 with the Panthers. Zach Morris, 11 with the Redskins. Good job. Leading interceptions in the league. Dylan Cole, 8 with the Rams. Marcus Joyner, 8 with the Rams. Marcus Daniel, 8 with the Raiders. TJ Green, 7 with the Seahawks. Jesse Bates, 7 with the Bengals. Quincy Wilson, 7 with the Colts. William Jackson, 7 with the Bengals. Alan Winey, 6 with the Rams. Greedy Williams, 6 with the Bengals. Darren Lee, 6 with the Giants. Dante Action Jackson, 6 with the Panthers. Rico Gafford, 6 with the Ravens. Ronald Darby, 6 with the Jags. And Anthony Hitchens, 6 with the Chiefs. Excellent, excellent work. All right. Don't have many transactions because, of course, the trade deadline has been gone. We'll take a brief look at it, see if anyone interesting has been cut. I always like to look at that for a brief minute, but yeah, no one too crazy. Marshall Yanda was a little bit surprised. I thought he still had a little bit of juice left, but the Ravens needed a quarterback, and he took my guy off the practice squad. Thank you very much. But no, Jermaine Kearse, I know the Texans picked him up. I'm not sorry. Not the Texans. The Titans picked him up to help him out on that roster. Recent signings. Darian Daniels came from my practice squad. Thank you, Jets. Vikings signed a couple quarterbacks. I think he had a guy hurt. There's Kearse going to the Titans right there. Redskins picked up Yanda. Yep. And there's Hartley. That's the guy off my practice squad to the Ravens. while Lamar Jackson's hurt. And yeah, pretty much standard stuff right there. We will take a look at some injuries, see who's hurt right now, because I know I just got McCaffrey back, and I don't really plan on using him too much in a feature role. We'll scroll through real quick, see if anyone's got any notable injuries. Oh, there's Lamar Jackson, but he'll be back next week. Early return. Oh, does he come back early? I don't know. He's got a big game this week. We'll see. Not a lot of injuries this year. We got the injury slider pretty low. Oh, there we go. Daniel Hunter, broken ribs. Jim Kuiper, dislocated elbows. And the Vikings fighting a couple of big injuries right there to two starters. And we just talked about their schedule coming down the stretch. So their next two games, all their games are huge. So, like I said, they're fighting it right now. They're trying to hang on and get in the playoffs. Bengals, yep, that's a big injury for them. Only 1 week though, so that's good. Their O-line is young, so that's a big loss. Cortland Sutton, yeah, receiver. I think that's the number 2 receiver. I think they played with another speed guy as their number 1, but he's obviously 94 overall. That's a big loss right there for the next 2 games when they're fighting it trying to get in the playoffs. Cardinals, huge. Johnson and Fant, yeah. We know David Johnson is their guy at running back. Fant, I think, is a pretty decent player at tight end. Star development, yeah. Hell yeah, he was the guy I liked in the draft. I was going to pick him a few picks later if he was still there. Let's see. Marquise Lee, broken wrist. Yep, that's a big loss for the Colts. They got the Texans this week. That should be a huge, huge game, and not being 100% is going to hurt them a little bit. Eagles. Oof, no wonder they're having a tough season. Losing 2 guys like that off that roster, it's going to hurt a lot. Hooper, that must be a new injury for the Falcons. Outside shots at a wild card maybe. So they have to overcome that. Artie Burns, he might be done for the season. I'd IR him and pick up someone else and take a look at him. That's tough for the 49ers. I traded him for a first-round pick to the 49ers. It's like he developed pretty well, though. Saquon Barkley. 1 more week, though. I don't know if I just leave him out. I mean, the Giants probably aren't going anywhere this year. You don't want him to come back and get hurt and be out, a long time next year. So I might have IR'd him if I was in their shoes. Mario Edwards Jr., D tackle, 6 weeks. That's tough coming down the stretch for them. That's going to hurt their interior defense. I know they signed my guy off the practice squad probably for just depth, because if he's going to play, then they're in a tough place. And I think that's it as injuries go. All right. Excellent. All right. I think that's going to end our show. But I will go to the news tab real quick because I do want to discuss a couple things. We are looking for a Patriots owner. And we will, it's getting to that time in Madden where we need to do some enhancement for teams, for new owners. So we will, do that for a new owner coming in. We'll probably give them like 2 development upgrades or something. And then if you do refer somebody, going forward, because we are deep in the Madden cycle, you will get those, 3, +2 attribute boost on anything except speed and strength. So we do have the one opening right now with the Patriots. So if you do know someone, please, let me know. And that's a hell of a catch right there. Just looking at that on the screen. Also, I think, we're doing a pretty good job of still getting games and everything. But just remember to please post. I've been going back and tagging people and asking just because that's what I like to do. I don't like idle time, and I've asked people to just go ahead and post when they're gonna play, and some of you do a good job, and then some of you just don't do it. So I would appreciate if you do post when you're scheduled, because that does help with moving the league along. We do like to keep things moving here. Other leagues, I've been trying to, look at other leagues. I do that a lot and try to steal ideas and things of that nature. We talked about the broadcast stuff. Right now, I wish I had time. I'm just doing so much, so much more this year than I have done in past years, with doing booster club stuff and getting married and buying a house, and it's crazy. So hopefully, if someone wants to take that on, I shared those videos in the chat on how to do it. If I do have some idle time and I know when you're playing, that's another reason why I want you to post when you play, because if someone wanted to do it, we got to know when you're playing. I mean, we just can't just jump on and set it up. It takes time to set it up. So we need to know when you're playing so someone can get on, set up the program, and then, do what they need to do in order to broadcast the game to everyone. So, just some quick thoughts on my mind. But I do appreciate everyone. I think we're in a good spot. A lot of leagues are, having multiple openings right now. I do appreciate everyone's dedication. And playing games and sticking with it. Off season will be here before you know it. Then we'll be into our draft, and then we'll be going into season 5. So thanks a lot for everything you do, guys. I appreciate you, and thanks for watching. Have a good night. Good week next week.